hopefully this little test right here with me talking into it will be sufficient. I've got her going live, so I'll know if I get home. Hopefully this will solve that problem. Okay. Hopefully you guys have looked at the title up there. It's right on the top of that slide. Marriage is no fairy tale. I think most of us can attest to that, right? Yeah, yes. Marriage is no fairy tale. It kind of starts that way. We have hopes that it will be that way. We want it to be that way. But then life gets involved. There's bills to pay. There's kids to raise. There's bosses to satisfy, labor to be done, nights to sleep, nights to not sleep, food to get burned, food to not be consumed, anger, closed doors, house repairs, car repairs, new cars, old cars, all the troubles that have, all the things that will never stop. Not until the day you take your last breath will you know that type of peace. Now, you can know peace in the biblical sense. That you can get from Jesus right today. But peace in the worldly sense, you won't have it most of your life. There'll be moments where it will be grand. And you'll be like, whoo, this is great. I'd say most of Stephanie's life since she met me has been that way. She'd be like, oh, it's been wonderful. You get some chuckles out there. Some non-believers. That's all right. You're right. She wouldn't say that. Well, she'd probably say it's been great, but she would also say, well, there's been a hiccup here and there. Just like all of us would say about our spouses, or our spouses would say about us, or our children would say about our marriage, or we would say about our children's marriage. It's hard. Now, last week, actually it would have been 2 weeks ago, because last week I preached the revival message. So 2 weeks ago, the Shulamite and Solomon had their big day. All their friends were there. They said their I do's. They said their vows. They went off and consummated the marriage. Things have been going great. This week, the routine of life is stirring and shaking the Shulamite's enjoyment of life. She's struggling with marriage. She married the king. Kings have late nights. I'm sure you ladies, or because it was mostly men, but the ladies too, everybody that worked at that plant and was on call. You've had to leave your home, right? It's been whatever time. You probably left some dinners with only one bite removed. This happened to me in the Army all the time. Because I lived closest on my team especially. I lived closest. When I was in the infantry, I was still always there. So it was like, hey, let's call up Manili. He'll go in there, whatever the issue was. You guys at the plant, same thing. Something going on. And now for whoever's making that call, often they're going to think, oh, it's a big thing. You might show up and it wasn't a big thing. Take you 5 minutes. But what did it do? It took you from your home, took you from your meal, took you from whatever it was you were doing, upset everything you had going on. And when you finally get home, if you do, I've heard Barry tell me stories of coming in and working 12 hours. Called in and putting in another 12 hours. I'm sure he's not the only one, unless he was embellishing. What about all the rest of you guys? Does that happen? Jeff, does it happen? Okay. So Barry's not just out there pulling my leg to make him sound like he was the hardest working man in Big Island. Oh. I believe it. I believe it. But these things happen. A friend might call you, and you got to go help him. Or maybe a friend's giving birth, and a wife might go, hey, I'm going to go help, Bethany. I'll see you in a week. And then you're left juggling babies, juggling pets, still having to work. Life is hard. The Shulamite, and what I'm going to read today is getting a first row seat to just how hard marriage is. And she married the king. The king's got stuff going on 24/7. Every emergency in the country. Hey, go get the king. Got to let the king know. Let the king know. Do all these things. The problem with life, or the challenge of life, is with these routines, we often also experience disappointment. Life can start being, before you know it, one day turns into 365 days, and that year turns into 5 years. We were just having this conversation with this young blood out here on the stoop. Body's all works great, all his joints feel good. He feels just like a brand new young man. Meanwhile, all the rest of us out there are broken down old men. And we're like, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. We also end up with, we go into marriage, we go into adulthood, and we have these expectations of what it's going to look like. It seldom looks that way. She's going to deal with her unmet expectations. She thought it was going to be one way. Maybe she thought marrying the king, he'd have all the money in the world. Maybe he doesn't bring in as much as she thought. Maybe he's got some habits. Maybe he stops and plays pinochle. Did they ever play pinochle in Big Island? And pinochle was big out in Washington. My parents were in a pinochle league and everything. We would host pinochle parties. They would go to other people's. It just rotated all the time. I myself am not a pinochle player. But maybe the Shulamite here, maybe Solomon's stopping and playing pinochle, playing marbles, playing dominoes, doing whatever, watching horse races. She wants him to get done with his work and come home, and Solomon stops and hangs out with the boys. Maybe he stops and has a beer at the local watering hole. And she's sitting at home with his meal, waiting on him. Maybe she got a pretty new dress on. I don't know. There's all manner of ways that people can get their nose bent out of shape. We have expectations. We have desires. And sometimes, through circumstances, through issues, those things all don't line up. And so this week, the honeymoon is over. And that's what I'm going to say, the marriage really begins. Everybody, who wouldn't want to have a honeymoon in that, first couple of months afterwards? I'm sure it's gravy. I didn't really get one. I got married and immediately went to the woods and was gone for like 45 days. I took Stephanie back to the place, put her in there, and I was like, I'll be back. See ya. Gone. Take care of the cat. And I was gone. The honeymoon for them is over, and that's when it really begins. Now you've got to work out personalities. Now you've got to study your spouse. You've got to learn what they like and don't like. You've got to, like meatloaf. I'm a big fan. The children, not so much. But I'm a fan. I'll never forget. I will always remember meatloaf. And I'll use these illustrations for years about meatloaf, in the event I have an opportunity. You learn your spouse, if your spouse, like me, guess what? Stephanie doesn't put mushrooms in food. She'll put it on the side. She's tried to sneak them in. I just move them off. You learn your spouse. You learn them. You study them. You want, because if you make them happy, your life's better. They know the same thing. Sometimes people just, this is one of the things with a spouse. You're like, well, I'm having a bad day, so I'm going to make sure you have one. And then one spouse, though, will come home and, man, they're on cloud 9. Everything's going great. And the other spouse does this until they can get them off cloud 9. I see it all the time. I've been a victim of it and the instigator. We've all done it. We've done it with our wives, we've done it with our husbands, we've done it with our children, we've done it with our bosses, we've done it with our parents. The Shulamite is understanding right now this week that marriage isn't easy. It's not a fairy tale. It takes real work. Like, look, we've already got trouble in paradise. Jim's back over there. 1 week. Where'd Jenny go? Oh, there she is. Trouble in paradise. 1 day. We lasted 1 week and just happy. Things were going good for that week. That's all right. I know it. That's what I'm preaching about. Marriage is hard. So, please, I hope you guys are there. Song of Solomon, chapter 5. I'm going to start with verse 2. This is the Shulamite. Let me stand over near her. The Shulamite from the Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2. This is her alone, is sleeping, in and out of sleep. I sleep, but my heart is awake. It is the voice of my beloved. He knocks, saying, "Open for me, my sister, my love, my dove, my perfect one. For my head is covered with dew, my locks with the drops of the night." That's imagery to tell you it's late at night when he's coming home. "I have taken off my robe. How can I put it on again? I've washed my feet. How can I defile them? My beloved put his hand by the latch of the door, and my heart yearned for him. I arose to open for my beloved, and my hands dripped with myrrh, my fingers with liquid myrrh on the handles of the lock. I opened for my beloved, but my beloved had turned away and was gone. My heart leaped up when he spoke. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. The watchmen who went about the city found me. They struck me. They wounded me. The keepers of the walls took my veil away from me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that you tell him, I am lovesick." And they respond to these young ladies. "What is your beloved more than another beloved? O fairest among women, what is your beloved more than another beloved, that you so charge us?" Now let's pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, Lord, I'm thankful for marriage. It truly is the first institution that you created. In the garden, you created a man and a woman. You presented them to each other. You told them to be fruitful and multiply. The first marriage happened in your presence, Lord, and it's been happening ever since. And Lord, it's hard. They struggled. They didn't have it all easy. They introduced sin into their marriage. They had a son who committed a murder from the very first family. We see how hard life is. So we shouldn't question, Lord, when life is hard for us, that it truly is hard. Life is hard. Marriage is hard. But Lord, you gave it to us. You wanted us to have it. You wanted us to dig through the trouble. You wanted us to grow with our spouses. You wanted us to model marriage and how to make it work for our children. Lord, you gave us marriage to comfort each other as we age, to be there for each other, to have a friend to keep us warm when it's cold. All of these things and so much more are part of marriage. And so, Lord, you gave it to us, and we need to figure out how to make it work. And so, Lord, I'm thankful every day for it, even when it's hard. Lord, I'm thankful for it, and I know that it adds to our lives. And so, Lord, I pray for everybody in this room, Lord, in their marriage. Lord, I pray that they would be happy, that they would hold hands, that they would say sweet things to each other, that they would touch each other in ways that are just to be friendly. Not every touch has to lead to the bedroom. And Lord, often men are the guiltiest at it. And so, Lord, I pray for every marriage in this room, every marriage in this community, that we would all put in the work. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So, the Shulamite sitting there. Where's her love? You can imagine. The first night Solomon didn't come home. She probably left the food out there for him, sat there for an hour, maybe 2 hours. She went in, grabbed some cellophane. Maybe she was a tinfoil lady. I know some families are all cellophane, some are tinfoil. We're a mixture. We do both. She probably put the cellophane on there, put it in the refrigerator, said, "Oh, I'll keep it for him when he gets home." The next night he didn't come home. She probably did it again, thinking, "Oh, well, something's going on. Maybe this night she's out of cellophane. She puts tinfoil on it this night." She made it for him. She didn't serve him the same plate from yesterday. This is a new plate. She covers it. She puts it in the fridge. She says, "Well, I'll just go to bed." And then the third night he comes home, and now she's getting upset. Now she's like, he's got a cell phone. He's got that top-of-the-line iPhone 17. Thing's got like 1,000 gigabytes. He got the best cell phone coverage in the world. I got my phone. It sat here untouched. I never lit up one time. He didn't send me a text. He didn't call. It's now 8 o'clock. Dinner's been sitting on the table for 3 days. This is the third day. She doesn't even put it in the fridge this time. She just puts it right in the trash. Maybe even with the plate. I get in a handshake over there like, "Oh, yeah, Jeff's had some nights he got no chow." I get it. Should have called. You should have called. You should have called. Solomon didn't call. Food's in the trash. She goes to bed angry. Day 4, he comes home. She made a child, but she burned it on purpose. She threw it in the trash. She's in bed. She's in bed. He comes and knocks on the door. Hey, sweetie pie. He feels the doorknob. It's locked. He's like, I pay for this house. The door's locked. He's like, sweetie pie, love muffin, I'm here for you. And she's like, I've showered. I did 100 brushings of my hair. I washed my feet and did my nails. The couch is for you. And Solomon turns around and leaves. Now, as she's sitting there, in these 9 verses, she's sitting there and she realizes, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Me punishing him, I'm also punishing myself. Leave it right here. That's where we're at. Leave it. I'm punishing myself. Maybe he has some things that I'm not understanding that are going on, some big things that are keeping him away. And I just don't know about it. Maybe he's sparing me from it because it's horrible stuff. We don't know what the circumstances are. In that second verse, what's she want? If you guys look at it, for me, I got to turn my page back. Look at that second verse. What's she want? Time. She wants time. This is a tough thing for married people. We get used to seeing each other. We pass like ships in the night. We can go days, weeks, months, and even years without giving each other time. I learned this not even that long, maybe for the last year, I'm trying to do a whole lot better. Like, let's say I used to like Stephanie start talking. It takes her a long time to get to the point. And so I'd be like walking away. But now, I just turn and look at her. And now I need the exercise, so I'll just stand here. It takes her a long time to get to the point. I've realized I need to give her time. Some people can't cut through it. They can't get to it. She's one of them. I'm sure a few of you ladies out here are the same way. Probably a talking man out here too. I don't want to say there's no talkers. There's talkers in the man side of the equation, but it's generally more weighted towards the ladies. She wants time with her husband, and she's not getting it. And so she's feeling unfulfilled, and so she's going to punish him for coming home late. In verse 3, she starts being selfish. She's knocked on the door. He said, hey, I'm home. I'm here. Let's get busy. And she's like, nah. I've already done the things, and you're not going to mess up my hair. I'm not going to shower again. I'm already down for the count. Got new sheets on the bed. Whatever she says. She's unavailable. Because he was unavailable. Now she's saying, I'm unavailable. But she realizes while she's sitting there, in verse 4, she's like, wait a minute. I'm being selfish here. By me punishing him and sending him away, I'm really punishing myself also. I'm hurting the marriage. She realizes this by verse 4. Verse 4, 5, and 6, she's realized it. She's like, wait a minute. She gets up. She got her nightgown on. Her hair's all whatever. You know, she got whatever, the wore on her shoes back then, her feet, her house shoes. She comes to the door and opens it up. She's like, I'm coming. She opens the door and he's not there. He took the hint. He found his food in the trash the last 2 days. She already said, when he said, I'm home, she didn't want nothing to do with him. He's not going to stand there and yell at her. He just says, okay, fine. I'll turn around. I'll go over to Barry's house. I'll go over to his house and sleep on the couch. I'm not going to stay around here. So now she's like, oh my goodness, I'm hurting the marriage. She has regrets. She doesn't want it to be this way. So she gets up and she runs after him. She doesn't know where he goes, though. She's running around town. She's wearing all of her house clothes. She didn't even put on her real shoes. She's running around the house. Goes, the city watch. This is how you know she's still dreaming. Because no city watchman in the history of the world is going to beat the king's wife. But here in her dream, she's out there much like Nelson and I. He probably was scared to come in today. I didn't dream about it. Didn't dream about it. Not the last couple days. The city watch finds her. They beat her. They take her veil like she's some fallen woman. And she's like, where's my husband? Have you seen my beloved? Everybody knows who she is. She's running around town, and now she has realized, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I may have created a problem in my marriage. I may have made something out of nothing. Both sides of us in this equation in marriage are guilty. Husbands and wives, men and women, all of us are guilty of pushing this envelope at times. And all it does is hurt everybody. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't make anything better. And so there she is. Now she's in verse 7. She's got no veil. She's repenting. She realizes the problems that she's caused. And she's saying, oh no. Lord, give me another chance. Let me make this right. Lord, I apologize. When I find him, Lord, I will apologize to him. I am sorry, God, I screwed up. This is always the right place to find yourself when you're in trouble. Repent. And then in verse 9, what's she do? She talks to these other ladies. And she's told them already, hey, would you help me find him? And they're like, well, what makes your husband so special? That's that whole, I love that verse 9. The daughters of Jerusalem are looking at her. She already told them earlier, if we go back a couple of chapters, she said, don't stir love until you're ready. And now she's been loved, and she's telling them, help me find my man. Many of you, well, I hope that if you've never been in this circumstance, you never are. It's never fun to get this phone call or this knock. Have you seen my husband? He didn't come home. This happens in the Army way too often, especially once you've moved up the ranks and you've got a few stripes. And then some Joe goes out and does the wrong thing, and he's spending all night out, and his wife knows your phone number. Everybody knows everybody's number, and she calls you up. Where's Billy? And you know that Billy went out with the boys, and the boys were up to no good, and she's looking for her man. So these daughters of Jerusalem are looking at her. They're like, well, what makes your man so great? We've all got men. What makes yours so great? What makes him better than ours? Now, of course, he's the king, so in that regard, it's rhetorical. But they've seen it. They're almost like they're gloating. Sometimes, and I'm not saying anybody in here is guilty of it. I'm not saying I'm guilty of it. But sometimes people like to see others struggle because it makes them feel better. That's kind of the sense you get from these daughters of Jerusalem. They're like, oh, the Shulamite thought she was so great. She married the king. She's living in a palace. She got this special bed. All the ladies of Jerusalem carved their initials in it and said, ooh, look at this. It's got cedars from Lebanon. It's got all this fancy schmancy stuff. She thought she was so special. But now she's looking for her man. Meaner. And you can see they got that idea. This is one of the things. Now, men typically don't behave in this manner, but there are some who do. This is more of a lady thing. She gets it. Now join me. We're going to resume the chapter, verse 9. Or, correct, verse 10. The Shulamite. This is where she responds. This is where she's truly repentant, and she tells everybody about her man. And this is some great stuff. She mirrors some of the language that Solomon used for her. Starting in verse 10. My beloved is white and ruddy, chief among 10,000. His head is like the finest gold. His locks are wavy and black as a raven. His eyes are like doves by the rivers of water, washed with silk and fitly set. His cheeks are like a bed of spices, banks of scented herbs. His lips are lilies dripping liquid myrrh. His hands are rods of gold set with beryl. His body is carved ivory, inlaid with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble set on bases of fine gold. His countenance is like Lebanon. Excellent as the cedars. His mouth is most sweet. Yes, he is altogether lovely. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. She put him in her place. She put him right in their place. She defended her man. I've seen ladies do this. There's 1,000 videos right now on the interwebs of ladies defend. Often you get right in the way and you result in the guy getting punched in the face. I don't know why ladies think they're protecting their man by jumping on his shoulders and grabbing his arms while he's in the middle of a fight. All you're doing is letting him get punched easier. That's okay. These daughters of Jerusalem were like, well, who's your dude? And she tells them exactly who. This description, I wouldn't want to be a police sketch artist. I wouldn't want to, eyes like doves. You could imagine if you just took her, her imagery of it, you would have one weird looking dude. One of them European impressionists would probably be able to draw that. But she's just given the sense of who he is. He is a monument of masculinity. He's strong, he's vibrant, he smells good. He looks good. And as his lips attest, he tastes good. And she loves him. Now, this is how we should all talk about our spouses. Earlier, if we don't have to go back too far, Solomon said almost the same things about her in the same type of manner, about how great she was. He doesn't get to hear this, but the daughters of Jerusalem do. She is describing her. Now, ladies, I hope when you get that phone call and it's Miss Glenna digging for dirt, that you're like, oh, Miss Glenna, my husband he is like the cedars of Lebanon. His skin is like alabaster. He doesn't even have moles. When he takes his shirt off, the birds fall out of the sky. They're so amazed. He could walk around unbitten by mosquitoes and ticks. They all just look at him and say, I'm not going to stick my beak or my mandibles into that flesh and mar perfection. Ladies, I hope you're saying these things about your man. Men, I hope you're saying the same things about her. Not, oh, man, she let herself go. She's comfortable. All she does is wear the sweatpants. She gets up and puts them sweatpants on. She wears muumuus or who knows what. I don't know. Things that ladies wear that aren't attractive. No. Say great things. I love the way your eyes look. Man, you really make that shirt stand out. You look good. I am proud to walk with you wherever, into the restaurant, and every head turns and looks. And every man in there is jealous because you're with me. And then we sit down and you daintily eat that food, and you look great doing it. You don't even get mustard on your shirt. You know how to eat. We need to learn how to speak to each other. We need to learn how to love each other. She has figured it out right here. In the next chapter, the first 3 verses I'm going to read, she has figured out where he's gone. I'm going to start with the daughters here. Where has your beloved gone, O fairest among women? Where has your beloved turned aside that we may seek him with you? They've been corrected. And she says this, my beloved has gone to his garden. That's a euphemism. To the beds of spices. Euphemism. To feed his flock in the gardens. Euphemism. And to gather lilies. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. He feeds his flock among the lilies. Now, I'm not going to give you guys the birds and the bees. Most of you know it. If you need to hear if you need to hear about it, call me, set up a time, come on in. We'll have the conversation. Most of you figured it out by now. Hold on, I hear some scuttlebutt over in this area. Randy, are you taking me up on it? This is what she's talking about. She realizes that she's dreaming. Her man is right there with her. He didn't leave. And he is in her garden. They are together. She wants him all. She wants everything about him, and he wants her. And so she realized that it was a dream. She was having a bad dream that her man was not the man he was. But she wakes up and is like, no, he's right here. I've got my man right here. And then she jumps on him and tackles him. The TV just fades to black. So, this chapter plus the next couple verses, you have the honeymoon, and then you go into the living of marriage. There's a lesson for us. We need to not just get by. We need to do more than that. We need to be willing to climb mountains with each other. We need to do things. One of my favorite pictures, I've still got it on my phone. Stephanie and I were at University of Virginia regional baseball. We used to go to all the UVA baseball games. We went to a lot of them when we lived up in Draft. She didn't go to any of them. But I was like, listen, I spent all the money to buy all weekend's tickets for the regional. It's the last game. I don't remember who they were playing. I could look it up, though. I was like, come on out with me. And she's like, no, I don't want to go sit in the sun. It was hot. I finally got her to go. And she's sitting next to me in the bleachers, and I took a picture of her. It's the first picture in my phone. It's my favorite picture. Why? Because she did something I wanted her to. She knew I wanted to. Now I had to drag her out of there like just a rabid beaver, just teeth and tails. But when she got there, she had fun. I can usually get her to go to one Liberty game a year with me. It's my favorite game every year. It doesn't matter who they're playing, if they win or lose. The game she goes is my favorite because she went to it. And we sit with, she sits with all the guys I sit with. She has fun, eats a hot dog, has a great time. And I'm like, you have so much fun every time we go to these games. Why do you make it so hard to go? I buy multiple season tickets so it's available to you every game. But you make me drag you. Maybe that's what she likes. Maybe she likes me having to be like, come on, let's go. It's the end of the year. I don't know. But my favorite game every year is the one she goes to. Same thing with basketball. Boys or girls, doesn't matter. Football, in the years I owned season tickets for football, I think I got her to one game, maybe two. I think two. Ladies, go. Go. Because you know what? If you go with them, you're going to have fun. I'm not going to use his name because he didn't give me permission to. I didn't even think about it. But his wife called him. I was with him on Friday. His wife called him up and said, let's go to a tractor pull. They were going to a tractor. Now, I don't know a lot of ladies that initiate that conversation. You think he was like, okay, let's do it. They did it. Go do things with your spouse. Now, I know, ladies, you're like, well, let's go to Hobby Lobby. You want to punish us. You're like, you took me to a ball game, we're going to go look at yarn and fabric. You punish us. We take you to fun, and you're like, let's go see how much I can make you suffer. It would be easier, ladies, if you picked fun things that guys like to do, but I get it. Part of it's the whole thing, does he love me enough to go to Hobby Lobby? I don't. We've never been there together. I hope it never happens, frankly. But if she said something like, well, if you go to Hobby Lobby with me one time, I'll go to 5 ball games with you, I would start the car. That's marriage. That's what marriage is. All right, so I'm going to quote a couple of guys here. Phil McGraw, good Irishman. I'm pretty sure he's an Irishman. Might be Scottish. He said this, and I'm not going to say it's a biblical truth, but I'm going to say there's truth in it. He said this: if you have a good and fulfilling sex life in your marriage, then the sexual side of things is only going to take up about 10% of your marriage, because there's no issue. But if you have a dissatisfying sex life, then that will balloon to become 90% of your marriage. It will be all that gets talked about. It will be all that is on whichever side is unhappy's mind. It will overtake the marriage and begin killing it. Kind of like Jimmy and I stand in this doorway. We're just like this, like sardines in a can. This goes to men and women. Do not forsake the marriage bed. If you forsake the marriage bed, you have introduced problems that don't need to be there. This is what Phil McGraw was talking about. This is what the Shulamite learned. She, in her mind, in her dream, she kept Solomon out. She's like, okay, he don't want to come home on time. I'm not going to let him come into the marriage bed. And so he turned around and left. And she's like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I better go find him before he finds some other warm port. And then the Turnballs, a husband and wife. Go ahead, another one. I think I put each one of these up there. The women need the 4 T's. Go another one. I want to make sure everybody can see them. Go another one. Okay, then I thought I put them up there. Then you got to have to pull out your writing utensil. And there's writing utensils out there. So unless you're in the chairs on the side. And then ladies have got a purse probably over there. She's probably got a pen in there. Got a pen on you. Men over here, you're just out of luck. Maybe one of these fine ladies here will throw a pen to you and you can catch it and write these down. Women need the 4 T's. This is from Mrs. Turnbull. And without these 4 T's, they'll never be happy. I've talked about them throughout here. I talked about them in my prayer. The first one is time. Women need our time. We can't work 24/7. We can't, when we're not working, go do whatever it is we want to do with the boys. We have got to give them time. Now, this doesn't mean you still can't do all that stuff, but you have got to give them time. Let them know how important they are. And this second one's real tough. The second thing women want is the hardest thing of all, talking. What do us men like? We want to come home from work, set our keys in wherever it is they go, maybe change our clothes and sit down and decompress for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We don't want to say a word. What does your woman do? She meets you at the door and starts talking to you. And we're like, oh, just give me some moments. Men, women, understand the differences between each other. This is the part where you study your spouse. If he comes home, or she, the boat could be on the other hand, but if they need a moment to decompress, give it to them. Give them a minute and then talk to them. But men, we have to talk to them. And it can't be a yes or no, yes, no. No, they want the whole jalopy. The painful, long conversation. They want to hear it for some reason. I don't know. You guys know that whole stuff about women say 50,000 words and men say 15,000. Yeah, it's true. They want to talk. They want to hear you engage them in a conversation. Actively listening. Ladies, am I right? Yeah. You want to be heard. You don't want, this is what us men do. You got a problem. Whatever it is. Well, here's your solution. This is the man response. Almost every time. Oh, you got a problem? Here's your solution. Conversation over. I'll see you in an hour. That's what we do. Oh, you got a beef? Oh, solve it. Gone. And then she's like, wait a minute. I wasn't talking to you for you to solve my problem. I was talking to you so you knew I had one. I'll work on it myself. I don't need your solution. I'm a big girl. Men, I'm guilty as charged. But I realize it. So now I'm often like, while she's talking, I've got one ear listening, and the other ear is yelling at the other ear saying, don't tell her what your solution is. And I'm sitting there like this, just chewing on the carpet. Because I've got, oh, this is an easy fix. She had a friend called her. Her friend's dead now. I've probably told this story years, many times. It still cracks me up. We laugh about it. Her friend called her up. She had insomnia. And I was in the room. Who knows what I was doing? Probably getting something to eat or drink. And they were talking about not being able to sleep. And I looked at Stephanie. I said, well, just tell her to go to bed. And then I walked out. Seems like the perfect advice. Got a problem sleeping, go to bed. We laugh about it all the time. What else do they want? Number 3, tenderness. Again, men are guilty of, we're about as tender as we can get the minute we want to get into the marriage bed. We'll be tender. We'll be straight up meat tenderizer, one of them hammers that beats things, whatever it is. Because we got an objective. But ladies need tenderness more than just right before we go to bed. They want you to come by, I don't know whatever they're doing. Come by and rub on their shoulders without having any thoughts about it going someplace. I know that's hard, man. But I'm telling you to work on it. They want you, just touch them. Hold their hand. We had a marital breakthrough right here in this family last week. Hand holding, sat next to each other the only time in almost 4 years. Now they're right back at it again. Things only last a little while unless you keep doing it. You guys haven't held hands since then, have you? No. Yeah. Jim's been banished to the side. Jenny's over here with the ladies. Hold the hand. I'm trying to do better at this. I don't like it, but I'm trying to do better at it. Be tender. I hope, men, you are writing this down. And here's the 4th thing that the ladies need. They need touch. That doesn't always lead to the bedroom. This is kind of like the tenderness. Be willing to touch them without an ulterior motive. I know most of you have ulterior motives, men. You're like, I'll touch you. Let's go. No, just touch them because they're your wife. You were willing to hold their hand when you were courting. You were willing to hug. You were willing to, lock arms if you're at least similar height. Walk around like that. You're willing to do all that stuff. And then you get married and things just flatline. And weeks turn into years, and years turn into decades, and decades turn into a full life, and there's no hand holding, no elbow rubbing, no ribbing and joshing and having a good time. You'll reach over and give her knee one of those things. She'll like it. Just give her a little squeeze on her, it tickles. All right, ladies, take out your pens. Hey, just hand it to your man if he's here. Men need the 4 C's. Now, this is Mr. Turnbull. I didn't come up with this on my own. I'm stealing directly from the Turnbulls. What do men need first? A cheerleader. And I'm not telling you to go put on the outfit, but he would probably like that too. He needs you to be like, you're awesome. He fixes something. Man, you really knocked that out of the park. Guess what? This is all I'm giving this. This here's just a great thing. My high school's digitizing all the football games for the last 50 years. Guess what that means? I told Stephanie, guess who's putting on my Letterman jacket? We're going to sit down and watch some football. Some old school, high school football, and I'm sure she's not excited about it. Men need cheerleaders. Women tend to start cutting us down, especially after a few years of marriage, or maybe something happened and it didn't work out right. And then it's like, you always fail. You always screw up. You always get these. No, cheerlead. Build them up. He will literally climb mountains, sail oceans, fly around the world for an attaboy. This is how men are built. We're the easiest in the world. We will do anything for an attaboy or afterwards. Anything. We will wrestle steers. Thought of that because Jeff's over there bucking in his chair. We'll wrestle steers. You name it, we'll do it. Cheerlead him. Don't chop him down. Number 2, treat him like a champion. Falls right on that line. Don't be like, oh, the neighbor, man. The neighbor we had up in Stewart's Draft was a retired gardener of some sort. He taught at the community college up in Draft, and he would live across the street, and his yard was impeccable. I mean, now I keep the line straight and everything when I mow, but he had every hedge trimmed perfect, all these plants and everything, I would sit and just look out there. Man, look at that. You know what I didn't need was Stephanie going, boy, it's too bad you can't garden like that dude. I know I can't. I don't need to hear it. Make him your champion. Go to the ball game with him. Go to the racetrack. Wrestle cows with him. Whatever it is. Shear sheep. Make him your champion. When you were courting, you couldn't get enough of him and you thought he was a hero. Keep him in that same thought. He's going to screw up. He will mess things up. This is my favorite one right here. Be a companion. Ladies, this is right up your alley. Be his companion. Go to the ball game. We got a friend of the family who said, when I was commenting on this same type of phenomenon with the ball game, she said, well, why don't you do things she wants to do? Maybe she'll go with you. It's like, that's not the point. You missed everything. I do tons of things she wants to do. And I ask almost nothing except go to a ball game. Go with them. Do what they want to do. They want to go camping and you don't want to go? Go. Ladies, I know a couple men that went camping solo. Go. They want to go on a road trip? Go. Do it. Be a companion. I've told you the story. What's my favorite picture in my phone? The first picture in it. If you scroll all the way back on my timeline, and I'm a deleter of photos. I don't keep them. I delete them off. I don't need that stuff clogging up my life. I've never deleted that picture because it's my favorite. Because she was a companion. When she goes to those games with me, she's a companion. And she always has fun. So why wouldn't you want to do it anyways, ladies? And then the 4th one, compliments. Just like the Shulamite. Oh, you got Alex. You know, I could pick J.A. out there throwing wood. Man, you look good throwing that. Just say things like that. Manly type things. Don't go, things that a guy would never think of. He'll be like, yeah, you really throw some good. You stacked that wood great. I got it in my car after you fixed it. Wow, it drove well. Thank you for fixing my van. Those new tires you put on there are the best. When I speed around these mountain roads and they don't even squeal like the other ones did. Give him compliments. He'll do anything for you. You look at why marriages fall apart, both the women and the men's side. Look at the 4 T's and the 4 C's here and see those aren't being done by both sides. Both sides are guilty. If you do these things, it's going to be hard to not have a good marriage. It's going to be hard. The only excuse us men have for not holding our wives' hands is if we don't have hands. And I don't want to hold them. I don't want to. Jeff? Yeah. Probably most of you dudes don't want to hold hands. We got separation out here. People don't want to. The Shulamite figured it out and she repented. Now, in my close. Now take all of that stuff about this marriage and everything that Solomon wrote about it in this poem and in this song, and now take it to your life with God. You look at those 4 T's and those 4 C's and look at your life with God. How often do we not give God the time? Do we not have a conversation with him? Are we not tender with him? Now, I get it if you're going to say, well, I can't touch him. But you can touch his creation. You can touch God. You may not be able to shake his hand today, but you can touch his creation. You can touch people he loves. Do we cheerlead the things he's doing? Or is he our champion? Or do we get down in the dumps because we're like, well, what's God doing today? I could have done a better job than that. We're all guilty of, oh man, God, you really messed that up. I could have done better, God. God, why are you falling down on the job? Are we a companion to him? Do we give him compliments? Lord, this is the greatest creation in the world. Look at what makes your wife and your husband happy, and then take that to the cross and go, now how does God want me to behave with him? Does he want me to champion his son? Does he want to talk to me? Does he want me to accept the tenderness that he is constantly showering me with? Think about it. If I need to say those 4 T's again, I'll just include them in the when I download this and post it tomorrow or the next day. I'll put the 4 T's and the 4 C's because you need to remember them. And then you need to take them when you come into church on Sunday, when you come to the BS on Wednesday, when you go to do something with building grounds, or you go with the garden club, whatever it is. We need to exhibit these traits 24/7. We act entitled. We act like brats. We withhold love. We reject goodness. We act selfish and we act self-centered. And all that does is cause upheaval in our lives and in the lives of others. So let's pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, Lord, I pray for happy marriages. Lord, I pray for healthy children and grandparents. Lord, I pray that Christians would be Christians, that we would look the part, Lord, that we would act the part, that we would speak the part. Lord, I pray that when people look at us, they'd be like, man, that's a happy person. Lord, I just pray for that for the church. It would revitalize the world if Christians exhibited these traits. So, Lord, I pray for happy marriages and happy Christians that just know how blessed they are. And they're so blessed that they can't contain themselves. Lord, I apologize for all the times we've acted selfish, for all the times that we have pretended that we were more important than we were, or that we got lazy, Lord, all the times that we've just done the wrong thing. Lord, you've been utterly good to us. You have blessed us more than we could ever ask for. You've given us everything. And so, Lord, I pray that we would be thankful. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, now in the event that I'm hoping that some of you guys and gals, I'm going to use guys as in the grand guy, that there'll be some people. I told you when we started this, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, that it should change lives. because I'd been studying, I'd been reading it. You should be leaving here every day, every Sunday going, I can do better. I can do better. And then if your spouse doesn't reciprocate, that's not your invitation to say, oh, well, she didn't make me meatloaf, so I'm just going to go the other way. I'll go to neighbor's place and eat meatloaf because they got it down there. Be good to each other. Model it for your children. Be good to your grandparents. And if there's anybody in here that has not been saved, and you're like, man, these things this guy's talking about, these are the types of things I always heard about, but I've never experienced.